Thomas and Sonia Wells, and this is Moochie. He's our little shitzu here, and we had to bring him here to Buck's
dog training because he needed some obedience. He's a sweet dog, but he didn't listen to anyone.
Yeah, he was a little stubborn.
He didn't listen to us.
And we had to get some of that
under control.
Yes.
So we brought him to Nicole.
And Nicole, you and your crew have done a great, wonderful job.
Wonderful job.
And they let us follow you every day to see what the progress, and that was real good to see. And he seemed to really enjoy himself,
right,
as well.
And
we're
he's
very
following.
happy.
Right, we're very happy. Sorry for cutting you off. He's following commands. He's listening. Everything that we see him doing on the video, he's doing with us. Nicole has showed us what to do,
with more
and
practice.
we are very, very pleased. And we recommend Nicole's, Buck's dog training to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so e-collar. There's instructions in here. Highly recommend you read it, okay? It comes with a 2-year warranty, all right? So if anything goes wrong, you can always call them. You can go online, ecollar.com, and they're very, very good at troubleshooting. If whatever the problem is, they can't fix over the phone, then they'll ask you to send it back, whatever it is, if it's the remote or the actual collar, and then they'll send you a replacement, okay?
The
charger. So we do recommend that you charge it up every night, and you can see there's 2 ports, so you can charge them both at the same time.
Oh, okay. This is the collar as well.
So you can see here there's a little flap. Okay, there's also one on his collar. All right. So and then on the collar, it's between the 2 contact points, but it looks exactly the same.
Same as that. Okay.
So just charge it up every night. It doesn't have to be on him at night, and then put it on him every morning. He's very used to it. Okay. You can see it's already fitted because I put the Twix Snap collar strap on for you, so it's really easy. All you have to do is unclip it and then just re-clip it back on.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it makes it a lot easier, especially when you had that long hair. Let me tell you, trying to navigate through that.
Yes.
To turn it on, so you can see it's right here. Clip. And I flip it back. So if he gains weight or loses weight, you can just tighten or loosen. Okay. Now, there's a little red dot here. There's also a little red dot there.
Right.
All you have to do is wave it like magic, and see how it turned red. It's now off. This.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah. So
And then it goes green.
Wait.
It's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, when you go to click, you'll see that it turns red. That's to let you know that there's signals going through, and you can hear that tone. And that's what he responds to, and you can see him tilting his head. Now, you turn this dial to whatever number is going to be stimming him. Now,
We said it at what?
he's fairly sensitive, but it really depends. Most of the time, he was like under 10, between like 5 to 10, most of the time. When he gets really like
rambunctious?
Yes, and he just, was like running around, is spastic or focused on something, then you might have to turn it up to like 20 or 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's how it's going to be when he sees the kids.
Yeah, so then he'll get rambunctious. And then don't worry if you have to turn it up higher. It's not going to hurt him, but it will get his attention.
Right.
So think of it like if you're at a rock concert, or
loud
metal concert,
whatever.
really loud environment, and someone tries to talk to you in a normal tone of voice, you're not gonna hear them. That's kind of how his concentration is gonna be. Or like if you're really amped up, you've got a lot of adrenaline running through your system, and then someone just kind of tries to get your attention by tapping you, you're not going to necessarily feel that because you're so amped up and focused on something else. Someone has to like come up to you and like shove you to get your attention focused on them. That's what this does. This kind of does the shouting for you. So that little low level tapping when he's really super excited isn't going to have any impact on him. So then you're going to have to turn it off and turn it off
and you turn up the knob there.
Yep. And it goes all the way up to 100. Now it's not saying hi to you. It's saying it's a really high number. It's 100. I've never had to do that to him, okay? But don't be afraid if for whatever reason, like you start to become afraid, like he's about to run into the traffic or something like that, don't be afraid to turn it all the way up, okay? This is emergency only, typically. You're not gonna turn it up very high unless you absolutely need to. Okay? The other thing I do wanna make you aware of is whatever number you have this set on, this black S button, see where it has 2 buttons? Black S and a red S, it will stim at whatever number is showing. Okay. And you can see a signal's going. Okay. Now, if you boost it, it will add 20 to it. Okay? So it went from 13 to 23.
Right.
The reason why we do that and set that in place like that is in case of an emergency. So, or you don't have time to turn it and he's just really acting out, he's kind of getting nippy or doing something you don't want him to do, and you've already told him no and hit the tone and he hasn't stopped, then you make sure you offer that consequence, because otherwise he's not going to stop. He's going to continue to keep testing you. So then you do the correction with the red. Because it'll boost it by 20. It'll be kind of like a, hey, pay attention to me.
Okay.
You know, I gave you your warning and I told you no. Now you're going to feel the consequence because, you know, this is not acceptable.
Okay.
Okay?
Good.
All right. So to turn on the actual remote, okay, because it's different from turning on the collar. So the collar, remember, you wave it like magic, boom, it's off, boom, it's on. And after you charge it every night, you're gonna have to turn both of these back on because it automatically turns it off when you charge.
Okay.
So to turn it on, there's a little button right here. It says L, but it's also the on-off button.
Okay.
So you press and hold, and you gotta press and hold it for a few seconds for it to turn off.
All right.
Press and hold for a couple seconds to turn on. Okay. But the other cool thing is the reason why it says L for light is because it has a strobe.
Oh, when you're out at night.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then if you press it a second time, it'll be continuous like a flashlight.
Right.
And then the third time it turns it off.
And we take a flashlight.
Yeah. So now you won't need to necessarily, especially if you want to see where he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fairly light, but sometimes it helps just to have the light anyway.
Exactly.
Okay. These are waterproof, up to 30 meters. So he can swim with it. He can, you know, get wet. He can run through puddles, which apparently he loves to do. It won't hurt it.
Okay.
This will float. This will not.
Okay.
Again, that light will come into play if it manages to fall into a body of water. You can see the light and be able to go and grab it. So even if the flap is open, it'll still be waterproof.
All right.
All right. Any questions so far?
No.
I'm good.
All right. So tone. About 99% of the time, you're going to use mostly just the tone.
Okay.
Now, first couple of weeks, you're going to test you a lot. And the first couple of weeks, you might use the stim a little more often. Okay? But once he starts to realize, oh, mommy and daddy know the same rules that I've been living with for the last 2 weeks. Okay, I'm going to stop testing so much. Then you can just go back to using a tone again.
Wait a minute, I got a question. Okay, so if you do it and he doesn't listen, then we need to push that red button.
No, you need to turn this up to like a number between something under 10. And then press this button, the black S.
The red one's like for emergency.
For emergency or
That
for
takes it
like a
all the way
hard
up?
correction.
The red one?
Right.
No, only adds 20.
Oh, okay.
You can
To
take
turn
off
it
the
all the way up,
100.
you turn this knob all the way through to
Okay,
high.
okay.
And you can turn it to any number in between. It doesn't always have to be like below 20 or all the way up to 100. You can do any number in between.
Right.
Okay.
You have to figure out based on the environment, how excited he is,
Right.
what number that's going to be. And you'll find that the more consistent you are, the lower that number becomes.
Okay.
Okay? Until eventually you're doing just the tone. Because with him and me right now, mostly all I have to do is tone or verbal.
Okay.
Okay? Because I was very consistent with him. Every time I told him no, I gave him a correction. So he knew, hey, you just made the wrong choice. And now there's a consequence.
Right.
Make the right choice, you get, you know, you get
Reward,
pets, you
you
get
get the
food,
food,
you get,
yeah.
you get a reward, you get something good.
What snacks were you giving him? I saw he was loving the snacks.
These Vital Essentials, he loves these. These are freeze-dried raw food. You can feed it to them as regular food, or you can use them as treats. And I
Where
was
do you get
Where you
it
get them
from?
from?
Are you mail order or is it this?
I actually sell it, but
Oh, you
can
sell it?
yeah. They're $25 a bag. You can get them from like Amazon and Chewy, but they charge you like
little
$3 to
more.
$5 more than what I charge.
Okay.
But yeah, I use them as snacks. And we have a duck, beef, turkey, and we just ran out of the chicken, so I won't be getting that in until another couple of weeks. But yeah, he's had all the different flavors.
And he likes them
them.
all?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he loves them.
You want to get a bag?
Go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Hi, little puppy. The other thing, like I said, this is already fitted, so you don't have to worry too much about trying to fit it to him. But you will want to make sure that you switch it around on his neck, so it's not always in the same
constantly,
spot.
right.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're used to one style, I guess it would.
Well, it can create a hot spot
Spot,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if it's constant pressure on the one side, you'll start to create a little.
Okay.
So we always try and move it around. The only areas you don't want it to be consistently on is right at the very bottom where his throat is, and it's very, very top because it's not that sensitive up there.
Okay.
Okay.
Mom used to grab them, right?
Right? Right, little one. Watch your widgets.
It's like when he was real
So
little.
see how I'm using that tone of voice?
Yes.
Creates excitement. He comes running to me. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
And so that I think is part of the reason why he responds better to women, because I've been the one training him, and I'm get used to using that higher pitched tone of voice to create that excitement and drive to come running to me, you know. And then of course every time he did, I gave him a treat. So he was like, "Oh, you're the best thing ever." Every time I come running to you, you're gonna give me something.
You said right there, you're greedy too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know when you get the reward. I ain't got no treats. I don't have no treats yet.
And he loves it. He is very food driven, this boy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, right, honey? Yeah, he's a cutie pie.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody's been asking for him.
awesome. All right, so you guys know, you've seen the videos. I sent you the board and train notes. Everything that I kind of explained to you is also in there, how to turn this on and off, how to utilize it, how we use it. Again, mostly tone, that's 99% of what you're gonna do.
Right.
I'm gonna put a leash on him at first for now, because one, he's very excited because you guys are here. But two, when I transition it back to you, he may be a little resistant, kind of, trying to come towards me a little bit more. It's hit or miss. Some dogs respond really well to the owners because they want to be with them, and then other dogs, they're so used to working with us that they keep trying to come back to us.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna put the leash on him at first, right, and then we will take it off once he starts to show his collars. Yes. Right. All right. So. Recall, you've seen Rock Solid was on and off leash. We were doing it out in the field. He was like way out. He came running. Calling. He was calling, but you were calling. Right? Moochie. No place. Good. Yeah. Moochie. No. Good. So we use the word break to release him.
Use the word what?
Break.
Break.
B-R-E-A-K. Yes. To release him from a command.
Okay.
Okay. Now, he is very resistant to the down, as you can see there. Sometimes he does it spot on, and other times he's just like, I don't really feel like doing that. And so there I had to correct him. I gave him a couple of stimps at a 6. And then about the third time that I stimped him at a 6, he finally went down.
Okay.
Okay? Moochie, go. Place. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Now, when food is involved, he gets very distracted by it, and I think that might also be part of the reason why he becomes a little bit more resistant. Because whenever I don't have food and I give him the down command, he's usually much more willing to just do it on the first.
Okay.
Right? Silly. Down. Moochie. Come. Support. Good. Down. Good. Break. There we go. So that's how we should be doing it. And then walking on the leash. Come here, baby. And you can do it both on and off leash. Typically you're going to want him on a leash just because you're going to try to be walking around the neighborhood. So I'm going to make sure that he walks nicely on the leash. Good boy.
Yeah, because he pulls. What he was.
Right. So when he starts to pull, tap, tap, tap on his tip until he falls right back into line.
Okay.
Good. Good. And he did all the set. Good job. Good boy. So for Hugh, always on the left side, right next to you. His nose should not be constantly looking, to smell everything. Because heel is a command where they should be focused on you or looking straight ahead. Okay?
Always on the left side.
Always on the left side. Now, you can teach a heel on the right side, but we call it something different. I usually call it side versus heel. The reason being, it's two different commands. So, we didn't teach him side, but if you want to, it's the same concept. Just make him walk onto your right side and just say side. Go boy, go boy, good. Good.
How many of those do you give him?
Just one.
Just one? Okay.
And sometimes when I first started, I would break it in half.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because he doesn't eat them.
Yes.
Especially when I was giving him a lot. And he had a couple of days of diarrhea because between his food and the treats, he was eating a lot.
Okay.
So, but then he managed to work his way through that, so he was fine. Right? Right, right? So, no. Good. Good boy. Right? Where you go, babies? Where you go, puppies? Yeah. Good. There, I had to give him a little correction again at his 6.
Well, I didn't hear you say anything.
Because I gave him the command already.
Yeah.
He decided not to listen.
What did you say?
I said down.
He did that, and he just.
Oh, you just did
And he just,
Yeah,
You
he
didn't
did.
say it, you just did
No, I did say it.
Oh,
I said it
okay.
and I did the hand signal. Yeah,
okay.
and he chose not to listen. No. Good. I didn't give him the release word, so he's not allowed to pop up.
Okay.
No. Good. There you go. Good job.
Okay.
Okay. So distraction proofing, and you saw that video where we had like 5 or 6
Something
dogs.
right, yeah.
We had the computer making all these noises. I was taking a stick and banging on their crate, and Ray was still working him and making him do the commands. So we were distraction proofing him. Right?
So you're gonna mooch.
Moochie moochies! Moochie moochies! What a good boy! So do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So he's learned come, sit, down, place, which is come sit on an object.
Right.
It has to actually be an object. It can be a rug, it can be a cot, it can be a place board, his bed, but it has to be something that's texturally or materially different and height-wise different.
Okay.
Okay? And he's rocking place. Like he can do it, but he'll try and test you guys.
Be a little-
So every time you tell him place and he tries to release himself, say no, give him a correction, and then put him right back on the place.
So how is he gonna know what place is at home?
You tell him.
I mean, you're gonna take him to the, because he has a,
Yeah.
okay.
So you can use his bed, or you can use whatever object. Place can be as many different objects as you want it to be. You just point it out and tell him, this is the place object I want you on right now.
Okay.
Okay? And then you just make him stay on it until you release him.
Okay.
And we use the word break to release it from any command. From sit, from down, from place. If you want him to stay there, you don't say the word break. But if you do, then you say break, and now he's released, he can get up, or he can stay there.
Okay.
It's up to him now at this point, because you've given him the release word. So if he wants to stay there, it's perfectly fine. If you want him to come to you, then you say come.
Huh.
So how often should we keep practicing what you've been doing?
I would suggest incorporate it into your daily routine.
Every day.
Yeah, so before he eats, make him sit and then feed him. Before you go out, he does ring the bell now. In fact, today he rang it for the first time without me having to prompt him at all. Like he was looking at me, he wanted to go outside, and he rang the bell. I'm like, good boy, I'm gonna let him out.
Okay.
Okay?
Like the bell was set up for
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. So he can ring the bell to go outside. And actually, let me go get the bell so you can see that.
Have you had Max Has he been going on a mat in your house?
No, only outside.
So only outside? Okay.
Yeah.
So should we not put mats down?
I wouldn't anymore. Not unless you really want him to utilize it, but
I don't.
he's been really good about letting us know that he's gotta go outside. And we'll just go right outside.
I know he would prefer to go outside, I know that.
He loves being outside.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
I wish we had that area like you had to let him run like that.
Mhm.
And let him run.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna have you guys practice. I'm gonna go grab the bells real quick. So just call them to you, make them walk next to you, tell them heel, put them on a place object, make them sit, make them down, and I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. Come on, come on. Place, 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 place. Good boy, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. A snack.
Oh!
Okay. Hold up, hold up. Now hold up. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
He did the place that time well.
Yeah.
That's
Sit,
it.
sit. Good boy, good boy. Good boy. Right? Right? Yeah. Good job, good job. No, you only get one.
He's like, what?
Does he know stay?
He doesn't need to know stay, because whatever command you give him, he's gotta stay there or he's releasing.
Okay, so when I'm walking home,
What am I gonna say?
heel,
Heel, yes.
heel, heel, heel. Yeah, he's looking for a snack. No, no. Heel. Good boy, good boy.
No.
No. No. Heel. Come on. Good boy, good boy. Place, 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 place. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Sit, sit, sit. Good boy. You wanna try? You wanna try? Right.
I don't have the voice y'all have.
Right, that's okay. He listens, because he's been frustrated by the guy.
What else do I need to practice? I just sit.
We're gonna do the bells too.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Come on. Good.
My neighbor made one.
Good. Stay. Stay.
That's
Make him sit.
Stay. Sit.
Okay.
Sit.
That's good. No, not the leash. Make him sit.
Stop, please.
Yeah, make him
Okay.
sit.
Sit. Sit.
Remember, hit the tone.
Sit.
Okay, now walk away. No.
Now sit. Sit.
Okay.
Sit.
That's a big one.
Okay.
And walk away.
Come on. Come.
There you go.
Good boy. Good boy. Hey.
Okay, let's practice that again. Make him sit.
Sit. Sit.
Remember, hit the tone.
Sit.
And then stand. The other side. This side.
Oh.
And now walk away.
Stay. Come on. Come. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Little plate. Come. Little plate. Come on. Play. Play. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. 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 Pray. Hey.